What's up, everybody? This is Markus, your MTT coach for the Academy of Poker, and we are here again for you with another video on how to work with ranges in poker. As always, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Facebook, on Twitch, on Instagram, and on every social media account where you can find us. But yeah, let's jump into the video here. And first things first here, as always, familiarize yourself with ranges. Um, to get a closer look, think about how it was in the early days and how kind of simple it was. When Chris Moneymaker, for example, when he started the boom more or less that all over the world poker got more and more popular. Um, at that time, it was still fairly easy to play. There were some so-called maniacs, if you think about Phil Ivey, who kind of put the game into a next level. But all in all, there were just so different play styles. If you think about a three bet at like in the early 2000s, so in the early 2000s, if somebody three bets you, it really meant queens, kings, aces, and ace king. And basically nothing else. Even tens and jacks were not really three bet from any position. They just flatted and wanted to see a flop. There was a lot of limping involved. And yeah, it's not about seeing like the 4 and 5 bets you've seen here. So it was really, really easy to play that. And if everybody or if anybody from you thinks about the knowledge he has now and it would be 20 years earlier, you would be making so much money because you were able to like bluff so much more than you could do now, because people don't think in ranges that more. And yeah, now as I said, it's just way harder. There are more player types available here and just more creativity in general. And for example, the word blocker was not even really a thing 20 years ago, but now it's really important and widely used. What is a blocker, you might asking? A blocker is a card. Let's say you have King 3 and the board is Ace Queen Jack 10. No, that was stupid. You have King 4 as said, and the board is Queen Jack 9 8, for example. So if you have the king, you do block the nuts in some way because there's only 3 more kings available, and king 10 would be the absolute nuts in this way. And just as an easy example, that if you have that card, it's more unlikely that the opponent has the same card. It's even better for flushes if you have like the ace of spades and there are 3 spades on the board. It's not possible for your opponent to have the nut flush. He might have a smaller flush, but because you have the highest spade, your opponent is not able to have that. It's just impossible in that hand, and therefore you can use it because your opponent might be bluffing more often, or you can bluff easily because you know he can't have the nut flush, so whatever you do, it will be harder for him to call here. Uh, the opponents. If you think about positions and player types, then you go to ranges. So, for example, there's something called range advantage. If you think about the UTG range, so under the gun, first player to act, if he raises, he knows he has 7, 8, 9, depending on the table size, players behind him. So he will not start with opening 7-4 offsuits, for example. So his range, so the amount of hands and amount of cards he might be opening, is rather small than, for example, the button where only small and big blind are behind him. And therefore, range advantages, if you see the example we have here, the UTG range is better than a BB flatting range, meaning the big blind calling the UTG open raise. And then you have, for example, the board of ace 6 deuce. Now, under the gun has opened, so he's gonna have way more ace X hands than the big blind will have. So we can start with aces, ace king, ace queen, ace jack suited, ace 10 suited. Some of the smaller ace suited like ace deuce, ace 3, ace 4, ace 5 suited, and all of those are in the range of UTG. But the big blind, if he just calls a raise, he will not have aces most likely. Ace king will not be there that often. Ace queen, ace jack suited, ace 10 suited, all those hands. Of course, he can still have some of the smaller ace X, but other than that, it will be hard. And even he's probably not defending 6 deuce. He might defend deuces and sixes, but that's just so few combos. And no matter what the under the gun player has, so if he now has king queen suited, he can pretty easily make a continuation bet because he knows the opponent will not have that many ace-x hands in his hand. Other example, cutoff versus the big blind. In that case, the cutoff range, so because as I said, it's already all the early positions folded, all the middle positions folded, and after the cutoff, there's only the button, small and big blind, so only three more players. So he knows, okay, a lot of players already folded, and I can raise hands a bit more easily. So he will also have, for example, 10-9 suited, Jack 10 suited, King 7 suited even, or Queen 8 suited, and stuff like that. So therefore, even though the big blind again might just call the raise, he knows that the cutoff will not have an ace all the time. He's gonna have some weaker hands, and this might help then to to raise on those boards, because if the opponent has, as said, Queen 8 offsuit or Queen 8 suited on this board, what's he gonna really do here? He has to give the big blind some credit, and as said, the big blind can still have some ace X, so ace 3, ace 4 hands and stuff like that, and therefore it's a whole other style of play here. Combinations again, and I hope I can keep this quite simple here. So you see, when you make a decision, such as calling a 3-bet for example, and you have it's a tight player, and you have jacks in this situation. If you think about the old days again, for example, we know that if he 3-bets you, that kind of meant that he has aces, kings, queens, or ace king. Every possible pair has a combination of 6. So aces can be 6 different combinations. You know, the first ace pairs with the second, third, and fourth ace. Then you have the second ace that can still pair with the third and fourth ace, and the third one with the fourth. So it's 3 plus 2 plus 1, 6 combinations. From every 2 cards, such as ace king in this case, we have 16 possible combinations. So if you think about the 6 times 3, that's 18 combinations of better pairs and 16 combinations where you would have a coin flip in this situation. Coin flip meaning the 50-50 one. So would you call with jacks when you know that in only 16 out of the 34 combinations you're going to have a flip, and in 18 out of the 34 combinations you're going to have 20%? Probably doesn't make too much sense. But of course, nowadays it's a bit easy, or it's a bit different, because people will also do that with ace 5 suited or so, because they know they do block ace king and aces, for example. Um, yeah, last thing here now, talking about the success of this. Using ranges might be an uncomfortable thing for you to do. You kind of are used to maybe opening different hands. You don't have those set ranges that are working. For example, from our Academy of Poker, we have like fixed ranges for every big blind situation from every position. Raise Your Edge will have that too, or Upswing Poker, or all the other poker learning academies you know. But as you see, we and all the others got those ranges because they work. They make money, and they are proven on big databases where you have hundred thousands of hands with different situations, different positions, where you see, okay, this does make money. Um, but yeah, you maybe use, for example, one thing I always see, first position. In my range, as an example, I don't open deuces, pocket threes, pocket fours, pocket fives there. But people see, oh, I have a pair, I have to play it. And either they limp, which is of course also a huge mistake, but they still raise it. And then they open every pair from every position. They might open every suited connector from every position. It does look good, and it can sometimes flop really well, but in the long run, you're not making money here. So that's why, as I said, the softwares we're using now, Hold Manager 3, Poker Tracker 4, or Hold Manager 2 before, they can just show you, because they track your hands, and they just show you the win rates on each position for each hand combination. So when I click on my holder manager and I have let's say I have like 500, 600,000 hands in my database, then I look and see, okay, UTG, what did I open from there and how did it work? And like some years ago, I opened Jack 10 offsuit because I think two high cards, Broadway cards might be good. But in the long run, it showed, yeah, I'm just losing chips when I open this. Same even goes for ace jack offsuit, for example. It's just maybe slightly in the plus, but it might be might be also in the minus, and then it's kind of hard. And if you see, okay, I have done this 200, 300 times, and I'm losing a bit now. If you just never open those 300 times, you would have, instead of losing like, let's say 14 big blinds, you would have been at zero here, meaning you would have saved 14 big blinds. And therefore you see, okay, maybe I'll just stop open raising ace jack in that position because it will save me 14 big blinds. Or if we go for per 100, it saves me like 5 big blinds per 100 times I'm not doing this. Might doesn't sound a lot, but if you think about the big numbers, it will just save you a lot. And yeah, therefore you just see what works and what doesn't, and then you can create your own ranges if you want to. So my tip to you, or my tip for you, have a look at your own database, see which hands are good for you, which hands are making money, which are not making money, and then maybe try to implement that into your game. So stop raising some hands you are normally raising because your software tells you you're losing money with it. And it's sometimes kind of as easy as that. And of course, nowadays it's good, or it's easy for us because people already did all this work creating these ranges. But somebody had to do it, and maybe you need to do it for yourself. This is it for today's video, as it might have been quite a lot talking. Good thing is you always have the slides to just read what I'm talking about. Let me know in the comments, do you even work with ranges? Is it too hard for you? Have you ever created your own range? Or yeah, what do you think about it in general? Uh, Other than that, make sure to give us a like on the video, helps the channel to grow. Leave a subscription for our YouTube channel to not miss out on any of our videos. And yeah, then good luck at the tables. Have a nice day and see you soon. Bye.